In 43 AD, Roman legions marched onto British shores, their arrival heralding a clash of cultures. The Roman Empire, a force unlike any Britain had seen, brought with it order, discipline and advanced technology. Roman roads, built with precision and engineered to last, crisscrossed the land, connecting distant corners of the newly conquered territory. Towns and cities sprang up, bustling centres of trade and Romanization. For nearly 4 centuries, Roman influence permeated British life. Latin, the language of law and administration, spread throughout the land. Roman villas, with their heated floors and intricate mosaics, dotted the countryside, testaments to the wealth and sophistication of Roman rule. Yet, beneath the veneer of Romanization, Celtic traditions persisted. The old ways, the old gods, never truly vanished. They lingered in the shadows, waiting for their moment to re-emerge. The Roman Empire, weakened by internal strife and external pressures, eventually withdrew from Britain in the 5th century AD. This marked the end of an era, leaving behind a legacy of roads, walls and towns that would shape the future of the island. Into the power vacuum stepped new arrivals, the Anglo-Saxons, fierce warriors from across the North Sea. These tribes, hailing from what is now Germany, Denmark and the Netherlands, brought with them their own customs, beliefs and languages. These Germanic tribes carved up the land, establishing kingdoms that would lay the foundations for modern England. Kingdoms like Wessex, Mercia and Northumbria emerged, each with its own rulers and territories, often clashing with one another for dominance. Their language, Old English, became the language of the people, the root from which modern English would grow. Yet, peace was short-lived. The Anglo-Saxons developed a rich culture with intricate art, poetry and a legal system that would influence future generations. From the icy north came another wave of invaders, the Vikings. These Norsemen, driven by a desire for wealth and new lands, set their sights on the British Isles. These Scandinavian raiders, renowned for their seafaring prowess and ruthless efficiency, plundered monasteries and terrorized coastal settlements. Monasteries, often wealthy and poorly defended, became prime targets for their raids. Their longships, sleek and deadly, became a common sight in British waters. These vessels, capable of navigating both open seas and shallow rivers, allowed the Vikings to strike swiftly and retreat before local forces could respond. The Viking Age had dawned, a period of violence and upheaval that would reshape the political landscape of Britain. The Vikings established settlements, integrated with local populations, and even founded the city of York, which became a major centre of trade and culture. In 1066, a pivotal year in British history, William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, landed on English soil. His claim to the English throne was contested, leading to one of the most famous battles in history. The Battle of Hastings, a clash of armies that would decide the fate of England, raged for hours. The Norman forces, with their cavalry and archers, faced off against the Anglo-Saxon army led by King Harold II. William's victory marked the beginning of the Norman conquest, a pivotal moment that would forever alter the course of English history. The Normans brought with them new governance, architecture and a feudal system that would lay the groundwork for the medieval English state. Section 4. Thrones of Power, from Magna Carta to Civil War. This chapter delves into the pivotal moments that shaped the course of English history, from the signing of the Magna Carta to the tumultuous period of the Civil War. The Norman conquest ushered in an era of profound change. The arrival of the Normans in 1066 marked the beginning of a new chapter in English history, one characterized by significant cultural and political transformations. William the Conqueror, a ruthless and ambitious ruler, established a new ruling class, imposed Norman French on the English court, and ordered the construction of imposing castles, symbols of his authority. These castles, such as the Tower of London, were not just military fortresses, but also served as administrative centres and symbols of Norman dominance. The Tower of London, a stark reminder of Norman power, still stands today, a silent witness to centuries of history. It has served various roles over the centuries, including a royal palace, a prison, and even a zoo. Its walls have seen the rise and fall of many monarchs and the unfolding of numerous historical events. Over the centuries, power shifted between kings and nobles, marked by periods of both progress and strife. The relationship between the monarchy and the nobility was often fraught with tension, as both sides vied for control and influence over the kingdom. In 1215, King John, facing down a rebellion of his barons, was forced to sign the Magna Carta, a document that limited royal power and guaranteed certain rights to the nobility. This was a groundbreaking moment in the history of governance, as it established the principle that the king was not above the law. This landmark document, a cornerstone of English law, sowed the seeds for future struggles for liberty and representation. The Magna Carta's influence extended far beyond its immediate impact, inspiring future generations to fight for their rights and laying the groundwork for modern democratic principles. The Tudor dynasty, ascending to the throne in the late 15th century, brought a period of relative stability and expansion. Under the Tudors, England experienced significant political, economic and cultural growth, setting the stage for its emergence as a major European power. Henry VIII's break with the Roman Catholic Church, driven by his desire for a male heir, had profound religious and political ramifications. His decision to establish the Church of England, with himself as its head, led to a series of religious reforms and conflicts that would shape the future of the nation. England embraced the Protestant Reformation, establishing the Church of England with the monarch as its head. This shift not only altered the religious landscape of the country, but also had significant political implications, as it increased the power of the monarchy and reduced the influence of the Catholic Church. However, religious and political tensions continued to simmer. The Reformation led to deep divisions within English society, as different factions vied for religious and political dominance. These tensions would eventually boil over, leading to further conflict and upheaval. In the 17th century, England plunged into a bloody civil war, pitting parliamentarians against royalists in a struggle for power. This conflict was not just about political control, but also about fundamental issues of governance, religion, and the rights of individuals. The English Civil War, a period of upheaval and bloodshed, ultimately resulted in the execution of King Charles I and the establishment of a republic under Oliver Cromwell. This dramatic shift in power marked a turning point in English history, as it challenged the traditional notions of monarchy and set the stage for the development of a more democratic form of government. Section 5. Revolution and Empire Shaping the World. The 18th century witnessed a surge in intellectual and scientific inquiry, a period known as the Enlightenment. This era was marked by a profound shift in the way people thought about the world and their place in it. Philosophers and scientists began to question long-held beliefs and sought to understand the natural world through reason and empirical evidence. Ideas of reason, progress, and individual liberty took root, challenging traditional hierarchies and sparking revolutions both at home and abroad. Thinkers like John Locke, Voltaire, and Rousseau argued for the rights of individuals and the importance of rational thought, laying the groundwork for modern democratic societies. Across the Atlantic, British colonies in North America declared their independence, a momentous event that would reshape the global order. The American Revolution was not just a fight for independence, but also a battle for the principles of liberty and self-governance, inspired by Enlightenment ideals. Meanwhile, a different kind of revolution was underway in Britain, the Industrial Revolution. This period saw the transition from agrarian economies to industrialized ones, fundamentally altering the fabric of society. Fueled by technological innovation, particularly in textiles and steam power, Britain underwent an unprecedented period of economic growth and social transformation. Inventions like the spinning jenny and the steam engine revolutionized production processes, making goods cheaper and more accessible. Factories sprang up, drawing people from rural areas to burgeoning industrial centres. Cities like Manchester and Birmingham became hubs of industry, attracting workers from all over the country in search of employment. The Industrial Revolution, while bringing about immense wealth and progress, also created new social problems, including poverty, overcrowding, and exploitation. The rapid urbanization led to poor living conditions, with many workers living in cramped and unsanitary housing. As Britain's industrial might grew, so too did its global reach. The demand for raw materials and new markets drove the expansion of the British Empire, making it the largest empire in history. The British Empire, fueled by naval power and driven by a complex interplay of economic, political and ideological factors, expanded rapidly. The Royal Navy played a crucial role in protecting trade routes and asserting British dominance on the seas. By the 19th century, Britain had become a global superpower, its colonies spanning the globe. From India to Africa, the British influence was felt far and wide, bringing with it both development and exploitation. The legacy of this empire, with its complex history of exploitation and cultural exchange, continues to shape the world today. The cultural exchanges that occurred during this period have left lasting impacts on language, architecture and societal structures in former colonies, creating a global tapestry of interconnected histories.